Welcome back to my Mortal Kombat series of reviews. So, last week I talked about the original Mortal Kombat movie from the 90s, and this week we are going to talk about Mortal Kombat Annihilation. This might be the strangest movie I have ever seen in my life. I already knew that this movie was pretty infamous bad, and when I say infamous bad, I mean like Batman and Robin bad. Yeah, I thought it was like that kind of bad. And so I wasn't really sure what this movie was gonna be. I wasn't sure, but like I literally lost my mind within minutes of this movie because this movie literally just starts. It starts literally with footage of the old movie for like 2 seconds, the first one. Then characters just pop out of nowhere, out of the sky. There's like a purple sky, and fire and brimstone's coming down. All these characters like fighting, and they're saying like terrible lines, like "You're alive? Too bad. You will die." It is literally just like I did right there. It is fucking wild, and you're like, what the fuck is even happening? Because even if you watch the first movie, which this movie is technically a sequel to, in all but name only, by the way, we'll talk about it in a minute. But I was literally like, what? Then the movie finally calmed down, and I still had no idea what was going on because it was had all this terrible exposition, like explaining everything, but it still didn't make any sense. And the movie just went on like that for like its entire runtime. And literally, it had some horrible visual effects where you could see like the king of the green screen. Even though this movie technically had a higher budget than the last Mortal Kombat movie, which doesn't actually make sense because it looks worse and didn't actually keep the same cast, so I'm not sure how that all worked out financially, but whatever. This movie is wild. I encourage you actually to watch it because you can listen to me talk about how bad this movie is, but again, I heard people tell me how bad this movie was. They did not do it justice. You need to see this movie for yourself. And you will get a lot of laughs. Like, I laughed a lot. Because this movie is wild and not good. It's a fascinating experience, unlike anything I've ever seen before in my life. And when I say it's a sequel and all but name only, that's mostly because it doesn't retain any of the original cast, and it's not helped to understand this movie to have seen the last one. The movie just kind of does what it wants. And I don't really know what this movie was. This is like legit one of the worst movies ever made. But you're just like, what? I had no idea, guys. Literally had no idea.